So before we commence, I would like you to use the chat and tell me what you consider your superpower as an educator. What is your superpower? So I'll be reading the chats to see your responses. What is your superpower as an educator? What's that thing that you consider your strengths in the classroom? So I'll also drop mine. Oh, your superpower is creative writing. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, let me read more. So educators, what do you consider your superpower? So for me, I consider my superpower as being very resourceful. Yeah. So I don't know about you, and I would like to read what your superpower is. Is it fire? Is it ice? Can you disappear as you move from one place to another? Do you have the power of speed in 2 seconds? You don't even need to be on that Lagos traffic. You just, fly and get to where you're going to. So I want to see your responses, please. I'm waiting to read from you. Educators, as you used to give your children classwork, everybody bring out your pen and write. And when you do, you expect them to do what you've asked them to. So please, let's just show that we're active participants. Tell me what your superpower is. What do you consider your strengths? Okay, Lekon says he's a change maker. Okay, that means wherever he goes to, he can make a change no matter the situation. Oh, good one, Lekon. Hands-on activities. So we have guru in hands-on activity. That is great. Yes, we're 11 here or more. So I think I can read 5 before I continue. Wow. So she said her ability to hold the attention of her students. Okay, amazing. One more. That's good. Your ability to hold your students' attention. Great. Like you can even start branding yourself as a specialist in, holding students' attention. You can brand yourself as a specialist in hands-on activities and start cashing out from there. You can brand yourself as a creative writer and start cashing out from there. So these are some of the things that we articulate about ourselves. Now, the reason why I wanted you to do this is because I wanted you to take a reflection about yourself and say that thing that you consider your strength. It is not a sign of meekness that, oh, I don't want to say what. No. If you don't say it, people will not know you for it. So one thing I have come to discover in education is you must tell your story. Nobody is going to tell your story for you. Nobody is going to tell your story for you. You must be able to articulate what you do in one word, in one sentence. What is that thing that sets me apart as an educator? So that is why I asked us to do this, because you don't know, you might just be branding yourself as whatever you've written here. So today, we are going to look at becoming a Microsoft certified educator. I will be sharing my screen. No, I'm not editing anything. I'll be sharing my screen and I hope you can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, let me know. Use the chat, tell me yes, no.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, okay, good job. Okay, so we're looking at becoming a Microsoft certified educator, an overview of the learning path. So a lot of times people come to meet me. I'm sorry, let me look for a way to. Please, 1 minute. Okay, so yeah, I'm back. So a lot of times people meet me and ask me, how did you get all these things that, you get to do, all the opportunities? And the only response I have for them is there is a price to pay. There is always a price to pay. And it is that price that sets you apart as an educator. What's the difference between you, where you work, who you are, and the next person? It is because of the price you pay. So most times when people spend so much time in the corner doing a lot of things, we only get to see the results. We don't get to see the struggles. So today I'm going to show you the parts of becoming a Microsoft educator. So it's easy. It's easy. It's something that it's very achievable. There are a lot of educators that have been certified by Microsoft. So I just want to show you how you can go about it so that you too can be that educator that has been certified, and that will also set you apart from others. So today we're going to look at the impact of education on the impact of technology on education, some Microsoft certifications and how to get started. And then the very one that we are here for, which is the 21st century learning design that ends to the Microsoft certified educator. So if at any point you have a question, please just drop it. I'll be so glad to respond. So we keep saying it that technology will not replace teachers. That's a cliche that has been on and on. No, technology cannot replace teachers. But the other part of that statement is teachers that use technology will definitely replace those that don't. So I've had to work on a project just last week, and I asked teachers, please upload your picture in a Google Drive. I sent the link to the group. You needed to see drama. Just upload your picture in Google Drive and rename it. So when I'm compiling, I know that, okay, this picture belongs to this person, this picture belongs to that person, because I don't know all of them. And I started getting, my DM was on fire. But do you know something I consciously said I was not going to do? I was not going to help anybody. Not because I'm bad, not because I'm wicked, but I wanted teachers that were participating in that project to at least, if that is going to be the experience they have, oh, I can now upload my picture on Google Drive. It is a plus to me. So I will not always be there to show you how to do these things. And so what I did in the group was to give them a step-by-step process. Oh, click on this, it takes you here, click on that, it takes you there, and you are able to do it yourself. So when I did that, I realized that it reduced, the number of people in my DM reduced. So if I had very close to 400, 200 teachers, at least 100 and something were able to do it on their own, and the others still came for me to help them. I still had to tell them again, see, this is what you do. If it means me sending a voice note, I will do it for you. Why am I sharing this story? Technology is a powerful tool that has changed how we teach and how our students learn. It has provided us access to education, access to different ways of communication and working together. Now, it is this impact of technology on teaching and learning that has made the certifications important, meaning that nobody is going to know if you know how to do these things or not if you don't have these certifications. Nobody will know if you can or cannot imbibe or embed these skills in the classroom if you don't have a certification. And so that's why companies that are into tech are rolling out certifications for educators. Right now, we have the Google Certified Educator, and we have the one that is very common, the Microsoft Certified Educator. So it's not compulsory that you're going for Microsoft. You can choose to go for Google. But the issue is that Microsoft is Very, very popular. And it is the popularity that is making it look like, oh, that's the only certification, but it is not. There are other certifications that you can get, okay? So Microsoft offers a range of certifications. So I'm going to be sharing slides and also going to the sites. So I need you to just follow me one step at a time. So Microsoft offers a range of certifications for educators. It depends on what you want. So as an educator, what is that you want? Do you want to just show that, oh, I know how to use this or that, or I know how to do this, or I just want to show off? Or there are ranges of certifications for you. And do you know the real thing? Most of them are free, but we only talk about the paid ones. So I'm going to show you how you can get some of these certifications free of charge. So the very first one I'll talk about is the MIE. Now, the reason why I decided to share about MIE was because when I needed to get certified in Microsoft, I didn't know that there was a difference between MIE and MCE. And so I paid 10,000 naira for MIE. I think I shared my experience with Emerald. I paid 10,000 naira for MIE to get the certificate. And when we went for the program, I realized that, oh, there was no exam to write. But at the end, I just got my certificates. They did a training for us. And at the end, we got the certificates. Now, I'm going to share the difference between MIE, which is the Microsoft Innovative Educator, and Microsoft Certified Educator. Now for MIE, it just means that you have completed 2 hours worth of training. So if you go to Microsoft Learn and you take 2 hours worth of training, you will be certified with the MIE. And they have 2 ways you can get this MIE badge. I have the badge and the certificates. 2 ways. You can do it self-paced, where you learn on your own, or you can do instructor-led. So the one I did was instructor-led, where we paid and the instructor taught us how to use notes, some of the Microsoft tools. Let me not bore you with them. And at the end, he gave us a code where we put in, and then we now got our certificates. All right. So what do you do and how can you get these certificates? I'll stop sharing my slides and then share my. Please, if you have any question at any point, let me know. Just share it and. Okay. So when you go to Microsoft Learn, that's the site. They will ask you a series of questions. What do you need it for? All those things are just to know the programs that they will, artificial intelligence. When you let them know what you're looking for, they now start, giving you feeds for those programs. Now you just go to Microsoft Learn, register, and then it gives you this. So when you get to this point, see where I am, Educator Center. Please, if you can see where I am, let me know. I need feedback.
You can see.
Are we on the same page?
Yes, Microsoft Educator program.
Okay, great. Now you see, when you get to Educator Center, you're going to see professional development, product guide, instructor materials, educators program. So let me just take, for example, this. So you see learning accelerator, what is happening in education, STEM, coding, all these things are courses that you can take free of charge. You're not paying for it. You're not paying for these ones. Let me show you. Yeah. So these are just examples. Support reading fluency practice with reading progress is a course that you can take. You will notice it's 1 hour. So if you take this one, Microsoft just knows that, oh, you've taken a 1-hour course on your platform, on their platform rather. There is another one, develop search strategies with search coach, and all these are things, independent learning, use education, all these things are courses, 43 minutes, 58 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you're getting your certificates. These are all, programs that you can run free of charge. Now, so let me go to Educator's program. You can see we now have Microsoft Educator, Microsoft Educator Trainer. So first of all, of course, before you can become a trainer, you must have gone through the course. So you will be an educator first before you become a trainer. And then you get Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts. For this one, you don't even need to write an exam. It is a self-nomination process. I'm going to explain what that means. And so when you click on any of it and you start taking courses, then after 2 hours, you can now request for it. But something to go through the instructor-led module where you go for a training for Microsoft Innovative Educator, and then after 2 hours, 3 hours, teaching you some of the basics, they give you a code. You put the code. Now, this is what it means to get a code that works. Let me share. So this is my site. If I come to my profile, strength. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yes, this is it. Now, if I get to my profile, I'm going to see different things, training, all the trainings I've done. But because this is a new one, you're not going to see my badges, you're not going to see my trophies and all that, because this is a new login details, okay? So your achievements, see where you have an achievement code, redeem your code. So it means that you have registered through an instructor that will give you a code. And once you put it here, it gives you the certificates you want. Some people prefer that one, okay? So that is one way of getting one of the certificates in Microsoft. The next one we're going to look at is MCE, which is the Microsoft Certified Educator. Now, MCE, you write an examination. But before I delve into it, I'm going to tell you some myths about MCE, what MCE is not. One, it is a tech exam and only those with tech skills can take it. No, Microsoft Certified Educator's exam is not a tech exam. As an educator, you are eligible to take it. You are eligible to take it. Every educator can take it. Number two, it is difficult and only a few get to pass the exam. If you prepare very well, you will pass, just like every exam. People will definitely fail. When I wrote my own, some people did not do well. In fact, I'm not to scare you, but some people did not do well. And I know that if they prepare again, they are going to get it. I had a, I don't know what to say, if I should say it's a terrible exam, because my system, okay, I should share the site. Just go to Microsoft Learn, and then you create your account and start learning. So it is not difficult. Don't let anybody make you feel like it's difficult. Once you go through it, once you read it, read the materials, you will be able to write your exam. So I was saying that I had a very funny experience during my exam, and I still passed. I passed very well. So the exam is 1,000, is over 1,000. The cutoff is 700. So if you get up to 700, you've passed. Less than 700, you failed. So it's just like 70 over 100, okay? But it is easy. It is not something that you should be afraid of. And I know that most educators are afraid because they get to pay money. Yeah, you pay for it. So, and you don't want to lose your money, but don't think about it. Once you're prepared, you're going to write and you pass it. I believe it, and I'm rooting for you. The number 3 thing I'll talk about is a lot of people think that MCE, becoming a Microsoft educator, is about teaching students different tech skills. No, you're not teaching children ICT. That's not what you're to do. That is not it. It's not about teaching children tech skills. No, it is not even about tech. It is how you're able to embed technology, or let me say 21st century learning in your classroom. So number four myth I get to hear people talk or people just imagine is only teachers who use technology in their schools that need the certification. That is another lie. Even if you use, where I teach, I teach in a low-income community. I work for Teach for Nigeria. I teach with chalk, but I'm an educator, a Microsoft educator. So you mustn't wait till you get that big job where we are going to use a smart board before you now go and get your Microsoft certified educator certificate. No, you can do it now, whether or not you are using technology in your school. Remember, you are advancing yourself. You are advancing yourself. You are not advancing your school in quotes. But the thing is, where you have quality teachers, it transforms the school. Yes. I remember 2019 or 2018, when I had to, migrate from being a digital alien per se to a native. I had to pay 25,000 naira. I share that story every time I need to tell teachers about technology. So it was 2019, 2018. And I know Emma knows, she also runs training for MCE. So she came to Port Harcourt because then I was in Port Harcourt, and she did a program for becoming a tech savvy educator. And guys, the money was 25,000. It was so much comparing my salary then. But I knew that was the next thing I wanted to do. I was tired of being that teacher that could only thrive in a low-income school. I knew I wanted to set myself apart. And then I paid for it. I paid it. I knew it was going to be a long month because, now you need to plan for the next month. But I paid for it. And guess what? I didn't know that my proprietress, the owner of my school, also paid for it. So when they added us to the WhatsApp group for the training. My proprietress now, they added her and she joined, and she saw that, Joy is in this training. So the next thing she did was she sent me a message. Joy, how did you pay for this training? She compared what she was paying me and what I paid for the training. She said, do you really mean you paid for it? I said, yes, ma, I needed to pay for it. And she was very kind. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to work with very kind bosses. And she was like, send me your account number. And then she refunded me the money immediately. She said she's so surprised that I could make that sacrifice. Now, I'm saying that story for something. As at that time, we were not using anything technology. We're just doing the normal whiteboard marker and all that. But I paid for it because I knew that was the next thing I wanted to do. And it wasn't long after we did that my school decided to also upgrade, and then she got smart boards and all that, and we started using smart boards. Thankfully, I also had to train other teachers in the use of technology because that was not only Microsoft. So what happened when I moved to Lagos and I needed to get a job in Lagos? I got a job in Ikeja GRA, and the only reason why I got, one of the reasons why I got the job was that I could use all these devices. Like I could use a smartboard, I could do all those things, I could use the internet, I could do all that. When I paid the money to do that training, or when I did the training, I didn't think about the immediate. I looked into the future. This is what I want to get. This is the level I want to get to. Do you understand? So I'm trying to bust the myth that only teachers who use technology in their school need the certification. It is not true. Every teacher needs the certification because you don't know the next job that is waiting for you. You don't know if that is the reason why they will give you that job, because you are a Microsoft certified educator. And the last myth I'm going to bust this evening is you must own a laptop before you can write the exam. No, you mustn't own a laptop. However, laptops or desktop, any device, but you cannot use a phone for the exam. So you must get that at the back of your mind that, yes, I might not own a laptop now, but I can borrow a laptop for 2 hours when the exam will last. So don't let that be the limitation. Don't tell yourself that I cannot apply for this because I don't have a laptop, and then you want to wait till you get a laptop. No. Register for it, prepare for it, get your certificate, and who knows, the next job might be what will give you the laptop that you're looking for. All right, so now let's come to the real gist. What is MCE? So MCE is the short form for Microsoft Certified Educator. It's a certificate that validates you as having a global knowledge of literacy competencies needed to provide a rich custom learning experience for your students. It is a certification that is ideal for educators, both those in pre-training. So you have educators that are still in colleges of education, and they think that, okay, it is only when I finish that I'm going to write it. No, you can get it. It is also for you, teacher, doing whatever you're doing, early childhood educator, whatever, wherever in the education sector that you're working, you can get your certificate. So it offers a comprehensive e-learning curriculum, which is called the 21st Century Learning Designs, that helps you prepare for your exam. Yeah, it's a rigorous exam. So let me talk about the foundation of the 21st Century Learning Design. So I just mentioned that the exam is based on this 21st Century Learning Design. This course, you will get it when you register in Microsoft Learn. It's there for you. Yeah, it's there for you. So what is the foundation of this 21st Century Learning Design? The foundation is simply innovative teaching and learning. And it's a global research program that investigated how schools and systems could encourage innovative teaching practices and the impacts that these teaching practices have on students. So this 21st Century Learning Design was carefully crafted based on a research. It was not based on an assumption. It was based on a research that was done. And the exam focuses on 6 skill sets. These skill sets have been identified as the future of students' professional life. So it is important as educators that if we're preparing our students for the future of work, then we need to ourselves understand these skills, because obviously you cannot give what you don't have. So these skills that we'll be talking about very quickly, because I'm just giving an overview of the 21st Century CLD. These skills are skills that you as an educator, you need to understand them first. You need to know what it means before you can, implement it in your classroom. You cannot give what you don't have. So this 21st Century Learning Design is based on rubrics. When you start taking the course, you'll be seeing a lot of rubrics. Now, what are these rubrics? These rubrics help educators identify. So it helps you identify and understand the opportunities that in learning activities you give to your students, help to build these skills. So rubrics shows or tells you how much of this skill these students have learned in your class. So let's say you're teaching or you're talking about collaboration. On a scale of 1 to 5, where are your students based on that activity that you've given to your students? So rubric 1 will ask you, okay, can students do this or that? Rubric 2, can they do this and that? So it just moves from one level to another. And of course, you know that if you have a rubric from 1 to 5, it means that 5 is like the target where you want your students to get to. So the 21st century learning design rubrics incorporates a research-based methodology for coding. Now that's how we code lessons. So when you go through the lesson, you're going to know how to code. Now, coding a lesson just means that if rubric 1 is saying that, okay, students can come together. Let me take, for example, very common. You're talking about collaboration. Can students work together? That might be rubric 1, for example. Now, rubric 2 would say, if students come together, are all of them bringing in their input, or it is just the high flyer in that class that is putting the inputs and bringing all the suggestions? Do you understand? So that's how it moves from one level to another. And then how do you code your lesson? So you're given an activity and the students are working together and you want to check for collaboration. Coding 1 means that, oh, your students can just come together, they can just gather, because some of us, we say a lot that, oh, we group our students work together. Yes, but this 21st century learning design will tell you what level your students are. Even if they are working together, are they all putting their input, or is just one person that is saying it? If all of them are putting in their input, who is doing? So that's just how you code a lesson. Now, the next one is learning activity. Of course, we know what a learning activity is. We give students learning activities all the time. So a learning activity, once you start taking your course, you're going to hear or you're going to see learning activity. It is any task that students do as part of their school-related work. It can be an exercise that students complete in one class project or one class period or an extended project. So your learning activity can just be one period. Some can be a project where you're working, let's say you have a target, you want to see how students can build something. And the beautiful thing about taking this course is that it takes you from one level to another, sincerely. Not just about the certificate. It just helps you to know that beyond just coming to class, teaching my students, I'm able to put everything. And you see that using this 21 CLD, you're going to see Bloom's taxonomy, and you're moving from one level to another. So you're moving from your students being able to define this, define that, list this, which is the lowest level of learning, to where your students can create, where your students are able to, extend their knowledge. So that is what a learning activity is. Oh my God, this got scattered. Sorry, I didn't see that this was this way. So what are the rubrics? What are the different skills? What are the skill sets? Number 1, we have knowledge construction. So when you go through the 21st century learning design, you're going to go through knowledge construction. That's 1. You'll go through collaboration. Okay, so let me just talk a little about knowledge construction. So what is knowledge construction? How are your students able to construct knowledge in their head before they say it out to you? Are they just memorizing it? Are your students just memorizing? So sometimes we teach and then we just want our students to regurgitate everything we have said. So we now tell them, this was not what I told you. Just explaining knowledge construction. This was not how I defined it. In those days, or when we went to school, our lecturers were priding at the fact that I want it exactly the same way I gave you. That is the lowest level. Students are not robots. They think. When you teach in a classroom, your students are able to connect the dots. They are able to construct new knowledge based on what you have taught them. So that is what knowledge construction is. Are they just able to memorize, say everything, or they are able to build on what you have taught them to say, oh, okay, if this is this, then this is this. Or they are just, one way, that thing that the teacher said is the only thing that they can, give. So a student can do the examples that you did in class. For example, you're teaching math, and your students can do only 2y plus 5x. Once you change the 2y to 10y and 2x, is now a problem. They don't know it again. They have not been able to construct knowledge. So that's just one. Then we have collaboration. So most times we say, oh, our students collaborate. And the reason why we say that is just because our students come together. We tell them, okay, this is group one. All of you in group one, stand up. They stand up. Go to this side. They move to that side. And that's all we do about collaboration. No, according to the 21st century CLD, that's not just collaboration. Students coming together to work together, fine, that is one level. Remember, I told you you're going to be coding lessons. So that is one level. Now, collaboration, are they just collaborating with their classmates, or can they even collaborate with people outside their classes? So this tells you that apart from your classroom, you can create an exchange. Oh, Mrs. Ifeanyi, you teach English. I also teach English in my school. Can we collaborate? How? Okay, I'm teaching informal letter. Oh, that's a topic in my scheme too. Okay, let my students write to your students. You see, that's collaboration, not within the school. It's not outside. And there's this sense of fulfillment. Oh, I wrote to a student in Lagos. Let's say you're in Akure. I wrote to a student in Akure. Oh, I wrote to one in Port Harcourt. I wrote to one in London. Because the world is a digital village. Our students must know that, the world is beyond. That's what I keep telling my students where I teach. I teach in a community in Ogun State. So most times when I go to their class, I tell them, I said, see, I know most of you have not left this community, but I'm here to tell you that there is a world outside this community. So stop thinking about just here. Don't limit yourself to just this village. You are moving out of this village very soon. All right, so that's collaboration. Now, when they collaborate, are they giving themselves feedback? Can they give themselves feedback? So it's just beyond putting them in groups. Oh, group 1 and 2. I'm trying to rush time up. Do they have shared responsibility? Okay, this is group 1. You are going to be our secretary. You're going to be writing our points. You are the one that will present in class. You're the one that will make the research. Okay, they said we should. So we're going to share the work. You're going to look for the answer of number 1. You look for the answer of number 2. You look for the answer of number 3. Or is it limited to they are all in the same group? One person is a brilliant one. He goes to look for all the answers. That same person is the one that is coming to share or do the presentation. That same person is the one that wrote it. That same person is the one that, so he is the A boy, he's the high flyer, and every other person. 21st CLT will tell you that is collaboration for you, but you're going to, remember I said the coding is from 1 to 5, some from 1 to 4. But for that kind of thing, if it doesn't meet a certain, a certain degree, then they tell you that this is code 1 or code 1 is the lowest. All right, so another one is self-regulation. Okay, so self-regulation, of course, we know that. How are students faring? How are they able to regulate themselves and the activities that they do in the classroom? And the next one is skilled communication. So a lot of times our students are not able to communicate very well. And then it also shows you some of the, that's the beautiful thing. It shows you some of the the tech tools, Microsoft tools that students can use in communication. Because right now, when it comes to communication, we're not talking about just one means. And that's also why when you give students a task, you want to vary it. So sometimes I do it. Okay, let me give an example. I teach English language, just for the records. And we're looking at words associated with advertising. I know a lot of us did that while we're in school. So we're looking at words associated with advertising, and that's a very interesting topic. Now, when they were to work in their groups, I told them, because I understand that there are different levels of communication. So I told them, you are going to choose what means you want to. Yes, they are supposed to do an advert. So you're going to choose the means you want. Do you want to do a paper advert where you draw and put something? Some said, yes, that's what we're going to do. Others said, no, we want to do a song advert. So, 444, okbo, 4 meta is a metaphor. It was fun for them. They felt like, no, that's a means of communicating their products. The other ones felt like, no, we're just coming to say it, Maggie Kitchen. Oh, that's great. The other ones felt like, oh, we're going to do a short playlet to advertise our products. So I gave them the opportunity because I believe in multimodal means of communication. There are different ways. It's not just writing. Write down 10 things. Write down this. Write down that. So when you go there, you're going to see that there's also what we call skilled communication. Students should be able to know that they can do a presentation. Yes, this is a presentation. They can also do a Word document. That if you want to imbibe technology in your classroom, they can do a Word document. It is different from a skit. It is different from a performance. It's different from a debate. All these are different ways of communication. All right, so number 4, right? Okay, number 5, yeah, okay. So number 5 is real world problem solving and innovation. Very, very important. Most times we say, oh, there is no school that's scam. Yeah, that's how it starts. School that's scam. What's the use of this dy, dx that we learned in school? Anyways, I was not a very detailed math student. But yeah, we learned all that. And some people think that, oh, because they cannot relate to it, so it's of no use. But of course, we know that school is not scam. And so this learning design tells you how you can, let your students start solving real life problems, real world issues. They need to start solving real world problems. They need to start creating solutions. Yeah, you can also, if you are tech savvy and you have technology in your school, this is where you can ask them to create an app. Yeah, an app. So they identify a problem, they create an app for it. So you ask them to start solving real world problems. And then they're asking you here in 21 CLD, can your students create a real life problem? Can they solve a real world problem? Because yes, these are the issues that they are going to meet. Remember, I told us that this learning design is for us to imbibe in our students the skills that they need for the future. So they are going to start working where they are not going to be solving maths, but it is that knowledge that they have in maths that is going to help them solve the real world problems. So we need to start encouraging them to connect the dots, and that's where this real world problem solving and innovation, comes to play. So innovation is where students put their ideas into solution in the real world. So are they able to do this or they are not? So when you finish teaching them, I think that's also something that we can always, think about even before you take your exam and you get to read all these things and take these courses, because you have to go through all these courses, So even before that time, you need to start asking yourself, in your classroom, all you're teaching your students, are you connecting it to real world problems? Can they innovate from all the things you've taught them so far? You've been teaching for quite some time. What can they make out of what you have taught them? So innovation is going to benefit not just the students, it's also going to benefit you, their teacher. Take, for example, the phone. Of course, people that innovated the device phone, they were students of somebody. But right now, their innovation is helping the world. Or people that innovated Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and all these medium. Right now, people don't need to come to one physical venue for meetings. They just go online. All right. And then the last one is use of information communication technology, which is ICT, for learning. For learning. So I need to emphasize for learning so that we will not think that, okay, we must come to the point where they will now be telling us how to code, how to use Minecraft, how to do all. No, that's not it. But yes, you're going to learn how to embed this ICT for what? Learning in your classroom. So that students too, you too, you're going to show yourself that, see, I'm not just a traditional teacher. I can do this. I can do that. Okay, so that is where I'm going to stop the lesson, and I'm going to ask, probably you're asking, so after all these things that she has been saying since, what next? The next thing for you to do is to take the exam with TED Prime. So TED Prime has offered that teachers that want to take the examination, probably you want to take it, you can even, as we are here, 17 of you, 18 of you, 15 of you, you can come together. Emery will talk about it at the end of my presentation. He's going to talk about it, how and how much you can pay. So this is how it works. You will read on your own. Like I said, all I have taught you, or all I've said here, you can find it in Microsoft Learn. You read on your own, and then what you pay for is just the exam voucher. That's what it's called, exam voucher. So you give them your name, you pay for it, you give them the money, and then they schedule you for an exam. After you're finished reading those 6 skill sets, that's the rubric, that's what you need to prepare for. Once you're done, you can now write the exam. But I also know that some people charge as high as 50,000 for this certificate. Why? Because they want to teach you all these things that I've taught you, just to elaborate it more, because some people feel that they cannot on their own just go to the site and learn. So if you have that kind of money to pay, it's fine. They are still there to coach you. You know, we are teachers now, we do it. So you see that you tell a student, see, everything I've taught you is here. Go and read it and write the exam. Some people will say, no, ma, I need you to still. Okay, yes, how much is the exam? Don't worry, to be answered. So me, I did not pay for that special coaching. I just went to the site, read on Microsoft Learn, read all of them. I was sure, because it is very easy, as in it's something that you can read up in 2 weeks. In fact, 2 weeks is a long time. In a week, you can now put this as something you've gotten, tickets that you've gotten your Microsoft Certified Educator certificate. And some schools request for it now. That's another thing. So you pay for the exam, and that's all. My parting word is, we need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher's hand, because it is a pen and paper of our time, and it is a lenses through which we experience much of our world. So yes, we have TRCN, yes, we have NCE, yes, we have all the degree certificates. Some schools now ask for, how tech savvy are you? How tech savvy are you? What certificate do you have to show that you are tech savvy? And this is just one of those certificates. So I'll stop sharing and let you ask your questions. Okay, how much is the exam? I'm going to leave that for MR to talk about. So question time, raise your hand if you have any question or clarification. Okay, nobody's asking, how can you apply? Okay, so like I said, as you are right now, just go to Microsoft Learn. So let me share it again. This is it. This is my, so this is Microsoft Learn. Okay, since we are waiting for people to ask questions, let me just share, search for, I'm going to search for the 21st century. So for those that are just joining us, I said earlier that when you come to Microsoft Learn, see it here. When you come to Microsoft Learn, there are lots of courses. I realized that some schools, they need you to show a proof of some of the courses you've done for them to promote you. Microsoft can give you that. Just come to Microsoft Learn. As I'm talking to you, you can just open a tab or go to your Chrome and do Microsoft Learn and then register on it. They will ask you, are you an educator? Are you a data analyst? What are you? They'll just ask you those questions so that they know what they'll bring your way. So this is it. Yeah, this is it. 21st century learning design. Now, this is what you need to read to write the exam. This one you need to read when you read it, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it. So just go here, read up, then pay for your exam. So I'll advise that you start reading when you've paid for your exam. Do you understand? So let's say you've paid for your exam and your exam is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can now start preparing for it. Then that's if you don't want to, if you're reading for the certificate. But the knowledge is very important. So you can just read up, even if you're not writing the exam. They're not going to pay, they're not going to ask you to pay for reading. No, you can just read up. You can just start now. All right. So that's to answer your question of how can you apply. So Microsoft Learn is it. Okay. So I'll be handing over. I'm done. No other question. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And I hope you make the decision to become Microsoft certified. Over to you, Emerald. Here. Hello. Okay, so I just found out that the exam is 20,000. You know, they pay in dollars, and so it depends on, so there's no static price, but we are paying to the organization that will give us the voucher. So I just found that it's 20,000 for those that are asking, 20,000 naira.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining. My network was a bit down. I hope everyone can hear me. I was trying to scramble. The team was coming and going. Okay, I think we have been told the price already. Thank you. So when the meeting for today, I will see you on the group chat. Thank you.